Hi everyone! Today I'm going to show you how to add details and color in your seahorse that hopefully you made last week. If you didn't make it yet, no problem. Go look at the assignment I posted for last week and follow along and do your drawing, and then come back here and watch how we are going to finish it. So to start, you can choose a marker if you have some markers at home, or you can use crayons, you can use a Sharpie, oil pastels if you have them, anything you have, to first just trace your sea creature here, your seahorse. I'm going to start by tracing my eye with a Sharpie because I want it to be black and I don't want it to smudge. So I'm going to go ahead and fill that in. There's a very small circle on the inside that I'm not going to fill in. I'm just filling in that medium-sized circle. And I left a little bit of a light catcher there as well. Now that I have that done, I'm going to use markers to trace the rest of it. I'm going to be using some water-soluble markers and a water brush to help blend in some of my colors. But before I do that, I'm going to add some details to my background. Some of my details are going to be to add a line for what the bottom of my ocean is going to be. Bottom of my ocean, just gonna fill it in using crayons. It's gonna be a sandy color. The bottom of my ocean, before I finish coloring, I'm gonna add different things like coral. And one way to add coral is to just draw some lines coming up. And then a little bit above it, I'm just going to draw a V. I want my coral to look like it's splitting in two. And then I could do that as many times as I want to draw different size branches on my coral. Once I have that, I'm just going to color that in with my crayon as well. You can add as tall of a coral as you want, as wide. You can draw a lot of different corals, or you just draw one, totally up to you. Next, I'm going to show you how you can add some seaweed. For my seaweed, I'm going to keep it pretty simple. I'm just going to add some wavy lines coming up. I want it to look like my coral is overlapping my seaweed, so I stop drawing when I get to that. I can draw another one coming this way. Now once I have that, I'm going to color that in as well. And I'm going to draw a few more different places of coral and seaweed across the bottom of my ocean here. I'm going to speed this along a little bit and come back to show you how to add details to your seahorse. If you'd like to add some fish in your background, you can add some fish in your background. I'm going to show how to draw just a simple fish here. And then I'm gonna add some details for some bubbles in my sea here. Okay, now for my seahorse. Okay, so for my seahorse, I'm gonna start with this belly here. I'm gonna go ahead and trace over that using my marker. I think I'm going to use orange and yellow for this part. I wanted the belly to be a little bit of a lighter color. You can put your markers right next to each other. You can have them overlap. You don't have to worry about coloring in the whole thing right now. And then the rest of my seahorse is going to be pink. Oops. I'm going to make sure I'm tracing the outline of everything. Trying really careful to stay on top of those lines that I drew already. I'm going to color in those spikes because I want those to be really dark. But everything else is just a really nice bold outline. I want to actually go over the body of my seahorse one more time because I want that line to be really thick. Okay. Almost done with all my lines here. Just about there. All right. So now using a brush and just some water, I'm going to be blending, kind of like if you did a robot at the beginning of being home, the same technique here. I'm going to just blend in some of my marker. Now, this part, if you want to add scales for the rest of your seahorse, you can do that. You don't have to, but it might make the marker, once you blend it with water, look really interesting. I'm trying to keep these sort of U shapes the same size. It's really easy to make them get smaller by accident. So really look at what you're doing and start making them bigger again if you made them really small or if they're shrinking as you go down. One way that you can add scales to your seahorse. Again, you don't have to do this part. Is a little bit of a bonus to add extra detail. I'm not doing it to his face, I'm just doing it to his body and his tail. When you get to his tail, you can change your U's to circles if you're getting confused about the direction that they're supposed to go in. Hi guys, I got cut off there a little bit. My camera ran out of storage. So what I did so far is just I started to blend my head, my face, and my spine, my tail, my sort of side fin here. Now I'm going to do the inside. And because I added those scales on the inside, it's going to look a little bit darker compared to the rest. Now, if you're doing this and you decide that you want yours to be colored with even more color, you don't like how light this is turning out, you can always go over the top with more materials after it's dry. It's really important that you wait for it to be dry first, otherwise you might put a hole in your paper. So once you have that part done, you can color your background blue for your C. I have blue watercolor, so I'm going to go ahead and use some of my blue watercolor for that part. If you don't have watercolor at home, that's okay. You can use anything that you have to color it in, or you can leave it white if you want to. But because I was using crayons to color everything else, it's going to, yeah, you got it. It's going to resist where those crayons are, so I can see my details behind my watercolor. And as I'm adding this, I'm going to try not to touch my seahorse because I don't want my seahorse to bleed into my blue background. Okay. I can't wait to see your finished projects. I know that they're going to look awesome. I just miss seeing you guys in my classroom, but seeing your finished art projects is really fun for me, and I hope it's fun for you too, that you get to do some art at home. All right, folks, so I'm going to go ahead and speed this up and finish this painting, and I can't wait to see what you make. All right.